Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Say that to the door that you go through and then it disappears behind you. But I've been through new content.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Honestly, there was a lot of lessons to be had with that ending. New content.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
But
feeling a wave of disbelief,
Stanley
decided to go to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Don't want to walk down yet, but I do want to do this. Dang it, man.
Okay, I think we all...
What? What? What the frick? Why was... What is wrong? This is a weird effect with this door. Like, look at that. And why is it black? Can I still go in the consecutive? I'm going to the bathroom. Oh, I see now. It's actually labeled 416. You are now leaving. Escape pod at 760. If only there was a sprint button. But running in an office building is rude.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Come on. That's what I'm trying.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
I think the font's different.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is Rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though
Or am I
if the
not
other
one of the
option
lucky
is
ones?
really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Why is my headset not working? Cheers. Let me see about something. Because my headset does not want to work. My left one, I should say. You know what? Screw it. Hopefully the sound doesn't break me doing this. No, I think it did. Give me 1 second. I might have to restart the game. Which is fine, because we just got to this... Well, no, it's not fine. I have to do the button thing real quick. It says it's... Oh, wait. Okay. If it does not fix with that, then I am doing that. Maybe that'll fix it. Oh! Okay, it's fixed. Cool. Okay. Except I have the sound thing blocking me. Okay. No! I pressed the frickin' wrong screen. There we go. And the sound still works good. Button. I feel like this was kinda jank in the original game, but it doesn't look that jank anymore. Like, the panels, yeah. The panels would sometimes just stop if you push too many buttons or whatever. It would be like, yeah, that. The inputs would make this wall very janky. Well, I haven't really seen anything else. Also, I don't think you could touch the top ones. Is Stanley faster? I feel like Stanley might be a tad faster. Buttons. Oh, we got the paper trail.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Okay, what's the new content?
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
You sure it's something new this time? Like, new, not like old new, but new? Hmm. New content.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further.
What the fudge?
Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
What? The end is never the end again.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Testing 2 printers at the same time. A new mug.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
You know what I'm thinking, Vix. Where is it? I would laugh if Tara came on suddenly because of this music. Okay, enough screwing around. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's like if I woke her up with that. This is the picture for the 10-year achievement, I think. Actually, sorry to make the screen mess up again. Give me 1 second. Okay. This is a very nice painting on a wall. Like, couldn't you make actual paintings or put this in full screen or something? I mean, look at the background. The background looks pretty. Ooh, fancy glass doors. Budget cuts. More TSP, better TSP. color red. A win-win. They're back. 2 doors. The Stanley Parable 2. A cool red section of the chart. Yeah, this I really dig this look. Like, the red does stand out, you have to admit. The fern. It's the fern. Take a look at this fern. Now there are 2 ferns.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out.
No,
Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
I did notice the brain. I think I remember the E. Maybe there's another. 2. It just has an E beneath it. E. Look. Look at this. 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 arms, 2 legs. Who took the red marker? Me. To the Stanley Parable is the prequel. To the Stanley Parable 2 is the prequel. Or the sequel to the Stanley Parable is the prequel. That is not as catchy as the end is never 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 the end. Sequels are good. Look, you have Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, which is City, Divinity, Original Sin 2. What is making that beep noise that I keep hearing? I'm gonna put this over here. Maybe it was the thing I just picked up. Divinity Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar. That's kind of pushing it. But Dark Souls 2. 2. I saw the investor showcase. 2. Don't talk to me before I've had my sequel. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, Oh, I got stuck. Hey, look. A crow. it really this? Wait, what's this? Every pause button is a Roman numeral 2. Oh, that's a good point. There's the guy. You should put that guy in the dev server. Just no context. The red and teal color scheme of something game. Oh geez, I am the yellow mug. I will never follow the red and teal color scheme of the area of the game. Is that supposed to be a stupid yellow line reference? This way to the show floor. New features. New content. Is that supposed to be a reference to the baby? Wow. This is extravagant.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Is this true? The reassurance bucket. Don't close these doors.
For
Damn
the
it!
Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself,
I wanted to...
what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
No! I wanted to go back out there and search around more. I just wanted to see what this button thing was about first, though. Too big. Too small? Just right. Look, it's even italicized. I'm hoping after this it lets me out and doesn't make me go through that door. Does it really work?
Jim. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you roleplay as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
Fine.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally, dying a slow death at an old age, surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the gym button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim. I'm putting the gym button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
That button just phased through the floor. Okay, good. The doors did open back up. Whoa there, cowboy.
I suppose I could allow only people named Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
That's Jim. We heard Jim in the game. Oh my god, that face. That's Jim. Okay. Raphael? Oh, jeez.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable
Or
was that it
Raphael.
was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game.
Where's the bucket?
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Oh.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Oh, I don't know.
Can you feel it? The
thought that was
glow
the
of
bucket
comfort,
laughing.
even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
I literally thought that was the bucket laughing because as soon as I picked it up, that was a completely different laugh than what the narrator does.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should
I'm
be
glad
an
it wasn't
award if
just
isn't
me.
already.
The end is never the end again. This t-shirt is the best new feature. This t-shirt is the best new feature. E. I saw the new... Oh my god. Oh my god. It leads to an actual freaking... It leads to a Stanley Parable 2 page. Wait. Wait a second. Wait a second. That's where it leads to. Okay, so we got office decorations and infinite hole. The infinite hole I do not want to mess with because I've heard that can be kind of an ending sequence. Ooh. The new updated ray traced. More of the same, but in a good way. What's with the feedback? It's right here. Oh, no screenshots, huh? Oh, God. The baby is all grown up. Bankruptcy. Okay, let's go in here first.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I like how stupid this one is. Happy 12th birthday, stepniece.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
You little...
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Okay, at least the narrator knew I picked a horrible choice. He looked so sad. Collectibles. Why do I not see Q? Oh, there's Q. Fine, we'll go see what the new achievement is. Luke is dying today. Yes, I am. Lever, receive your new achievement, no more steps. It just works. Get yours right now.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Oh my god, it's the unachievable achievement. It just works.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I wish you could throw this bucket at the machine. Please pull me. That is such a troll.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I don't trust me with that. Wait, no, that's the infinite hole. Then what the frick is this?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Wow, this is quite the distance. What the frick is going on here?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
NFT. What if I go here? Oh, fine, I will check the infinite hole, even though I don't want to. Time and depth. It just keeps going. Educational use only. To infinity and beyond. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
This sounds like a bad idea. This sounds like a really bad idea. Should I do it, Vix? Sounds creepy. There was an exit, but I don't know if the exit goes anywhere. Oh, Stanley, you were supposed to drop from the hole, not go to the exit. Yeah.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
That is a creepy picture. Yeah, see, this was an exit, but this doesn't look like an exit.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Are you freaking kidding?
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
The jump circle has
I
the
wanted
infinite
more than
hole in
anything
it.
to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Is it going back? Whoa. That's trippy.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley. Okay, that achievement isn't working.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Gonna be different?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building
Balloons are different.
where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. Stanley...
Oh, jeez. I was wondering if that was a
something very
Fresh Prince.
happened. Something
Oh,
that would forever
new title
change
screen
Stanley.
too. My bad.
Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had
Get
this
well
happened,
someday.
this complete
Nice.
isolation.
Nice.
Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Oh my god, I didn't even see it.
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
That room's kind of weird. Wait. Hey, this is my room. Ooh, this
And
looks
here it
more
was.
bright.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Gonna say anything else?
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired. Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home, here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Anything else?
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Anything else? Nothing?
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge. and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
Wow, the balloons even go out to here.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Let's go on an adventure.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I
Really?
knew you'd find this place
What the f-
eventually.
Oh my god.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Oh my. I can't believe the Broom Closet is Stanley's friend. I can't believe this baby thing that you let burn, and then you get called a bastard, is Stanley's friend. What's...
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh no.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Yes.
Stanley is addicted to drugs and horrors. It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
I find it funny that the narrator just said that like an hour or so ago, and then just had a freaking recording of him just saying that.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Oh!
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket.
No.
I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the adventure
Oh, God.
of the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and... The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
This game is unhinged. Yeah. I thought it was gonna freaking attack me.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's go downstairs.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The Broom Closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This Broom Closet believes it deserves the... I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the Broom Closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the Broom Closet is putting on your shoulders right now.
Oh
but
my
you have
God.
to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the Broom Closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this Broom Closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the Broom Closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never... Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the Broom Closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Rabble, 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 rabble. Rabble? Rattle.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all.
Oh?
Here we go. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, Broom Closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
I was not expecting that.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. See? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Anything else? You got any other stickers?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the Broom Closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Damn, narrator really got pissed at the Broom Closet. I feel like if we got rid of the bucket in that one ending, we probably could see the infinite hole ending or whatever, but I don't want to get rid of the bucket yet, since it seems like it's changing a lot of dialogue.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Ooh.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I can't read that. Looks like it's important because it stands out, though.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him.
Really?
All along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Well,
this is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
jeez.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she thanked
What?
it all the way to work.
What? That ending phrase, my life kicks ass. What?
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather. The confusion and the chaos all
Oh,
seemed
jeez,
to
they still
melt
got the
away
stickers.
as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Kind of want to do the countdown ending with the bucket just to see what crazy shenanigans are going to happen with the narrator going completely insane. Interesting. $4.16. Bottom text. Yes, a red room. Okay, that's... Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, TBH. This is kind of disturbing since what my real name is. We need more planks. Somewhere both red and blue, eh? I know where that one is.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines?
Stanlerines.
Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing present. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh shit! Go back up, go back up, go back up.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you,
Dang it.
Stanley.
Get me
Everything
back up there.
will be fine.
I think
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3.
What?
I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
What?
The bucket said nothing.
It's not what I was thinking, but let me see if my eyes were like playing tricks or not. Where's the thing? There was a thing here. I feel cheated. I swear there was a figurine as I was walking in here and then did this. Something was flashing right over there.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock.
This is
Stanley,
true.
who had always felt such a connection with the bucket.
Or it could
How
just
was
be a
this not
different
as
room,
exciting to the bucket
which is
as
weird.
it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Yeah. I wonder.
Eight.
8. 8. 8. It looked like that, but it definitely was not that because I looked over there and it was like saw it as I was going down.
Perhaps the
Right
bucket
there.
had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again?
No.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I can't believe this
Monitors
bucket
jumped to
has
life, and Stanley nearly dropped the
jiggle
bucket in
figs,
shock.
physics if you think
Everyone
about
in
it.
the office was
The
being
handle goes up
videotaped,
and down.
monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Nah.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
What?
Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
That was not what I was expecting.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, I'm looking at that frickin'... because it might be... maybe not. I didn't want to do the one thing, but...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
See? I can't believe that.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by one? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I really don't want to do this, but at the same time... it's kind of the only thing we haven't done yet and on this side, and it could be different and not lead to the same thing.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Although
Nope.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Nope.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nope.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Nope. Ooh. This looks much nicer than it did before.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
The
It was
Stanley...
a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Oh my god. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within a cavernous void. But though use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were in ignorance and darkness? Wow.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Wow. I feel very disrespected right now. 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets. The greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of this euphoria, or of the euphoria, from exposure to this many buckets at once. This looks more like 100 or plus buckets. Wait, wasn't there a line? Oh, it's the frickin' bucket. A bucket with 2 handles. This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. And then look at this wooden bucket. The Inferno bucket, a replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval time era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet, in spite of it all, the simple fact remains. No one can control a bucket. And this is the stress bucket, an analogy. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance, vulnerability, size and strength of the bucket, coping strategies equals holes, rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy, rest and relaxation. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket, the stress bucket, presented without commentary. Are you... the music, really? Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts her early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Uh-huh.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. Time to fall into an infinite hole. Oh. Or not.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Nice. Pretty sure this ending you have to reset the game like this. Oh wow, even new pause menu.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Too bad I'm off the cargo lift now.
No, stop. Look
What?
there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I
What?
suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh. Hello. What do we got in here?
Now
Oh
then,
my god.
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Nah.
Correct. It is a hologram of a
Oh my
bucket,
god.
not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Nah.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Hey, is this a bucket? You know that's gonna give carbon monoxide poisoning inside of a room, right?
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
Really?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What? What?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a
Yeah.
bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think?
Yes.
Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Yes.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No.
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait,
Oh
was
no.
everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my god, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything. We'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Sounds
And
good
we'll
to me.
know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Here we go. What the? I didn't even... Oh, never mind.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. And this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley
it was
had
okay.
felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yeah, never mind.
No.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took
No.
the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true. You can fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
You sure about that, bro? You sure about that?
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me. Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Bucket was
Stanley
wrong
took
yet
the door on his
again.
left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top.
Yes.
There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the
Nah.
phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Nah.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny,
No.
Stanley. A talking bucket.
No.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. Better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Here we go.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds?
Maybe.
Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point. You
Come on
gut-busting
with
little
the
scamp.
funny.
After
Show
all,
me the
with each
funny.
of us needed on the front lines of the
I'm
war to
Dunny
fight the
with the
12-legged
funny.
invader who threaten our very existence, and to very likely
What the
die in a
fudge?
hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us.
What?
And their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme. Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no
Yes.
matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe
What the
the only
fudge
way
was that
forward
ending?
is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
That ending was like freaking Cave Johnson just came in. Talking about the the insect men or whatever.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the
Yes,
king of comedy,
Mantis Men, that's what it is.
The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
You sure about that, bro? You sure about that, narrator? That did...
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
No. What the...
We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need
No.
to go back and rewatch
watch that instructional video again?
No, don't.
Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready?
Okay.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I know if I enter that door, it's just going to do the same thing.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Yes.
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes.
Oh my God.
That again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not?
No.
It is the delivery. Pale with shame. Pale with shame. Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar.
Oh my God.
Getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Unity.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see if I can go without the bucket for once.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee
Yes,
lounge first,
the
just
non-deluxe
to
was
admire it.
Source, I believe.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach,
but they reworked
eager to get back to business,
everything
Stanley took the first open door
to make
on
this
his left.
version by putting it into Unity, pretty much.
Stanley
Like
was so bad
reworked
at
everything
following
from the ground
directions,
up.
It's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
Yeah.
But the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but
No
I
buckets.
really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Aha!
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nah.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nah.
I still don't think we're communicating properly.
Nah.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
Is
Broken
anyone
rooms,
out
exposed developer
there?
textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
Yep.
Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange
I wanna
and
see
unknowable desires of yours.
if this
What would have
ending is
made this
different.
game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, well, now this is useful. You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term. It didn't cause you excruciating pain. Big steps we've made here today, Stanley. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Good old Neil. Meh.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Okay, did they take out these games?
What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Did they take it out? They did! Oh my god!
What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower. Perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental
Firewatch.
depravity.
Did not
So
expect
far, I love
Firewatch.
everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Can't take away the Minecraft door sound. You can take away the Minecraft, but you can't take away the sound.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Oh, shh.
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley, what a close call. You really wandered off into that thing, that big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Heavens, we avoided.
It's been a while since I've seen the game, but I have seen the
I'm
game.
going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
And Do You Copy? I feel like I've seen Do You Copy before
think
too.
This will be just the thing.
Yeah. What? No.
Wonderful.
No.
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design.
Frickin'
Stanley,
Rocket
if
League.
you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
It's Rocket League, right? With the frickin' cars?
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think
Sports
surely
ball.
we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
What? It's a freaking huge ass ball. Oh my god, you're really going to make me run this. Wait, I'm going freaking fast.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
Oh shit.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
Aww.
Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best.
Yeah.
Take care, Stanley.
You too, narrator.
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Yeah. Also, man, this brings back memories. God, that was freaking 11 years ago when the original came out. Vix, did you ever see the original Half-Life mod for this? You've seen clips. Okay. Yeah, I heard the Minecraft was taken out, but I wanted to see it with my own eyes because I didn't know Firewatch or definitely did not expect freaking freaking Rocket League to be put into this game instead. Yeah, this is pretty much the original mod, and it really felt like Half-Life, but with Stanley Parable pretty much, but some of the endings quite a bit different. There were some that were similar, like obviously the freedom ending and the museum ending. Museum endings kind of changed when you do it, but it still has the same feeling to it.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it, down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
It's honestly weird because in the original 2011 mod, if you did all the wrong choices, that ending felt like it was like you completed the game. It didn't end with the narrator saying that Stanley is incomplete without him. It actually ended with like Stanley feeling like he was free from everything. So for it to change from that to this ending in 2 years later in the 2013 version, definitely a little weird, but at the same time makes sense because you can't with how Stanley Parable became, you can't separate the narrator and Stanley. So